So on my last vlog post, which I'll do an updated post tomorrow, someone commented there and asked, how do you regulate a plant? Well, this is, not the hardest one to answer though. It's like regulating any other plant. You could grow it in your garden for yourself, no regulation. None required because it's simply your own life that you're putting at risk. We all know with cannabis, like, there's virtually no risks, especially regarding your life. But with the regulation means when you want to use it industrially or in a business sense, that's when it gets regulated. So for instance, if you're making beer in your garage and you and your friends drink it over the weekends, there's no regulation required, we don't have any issues, like, that's legal. But if you're making beer in your garage and you want to sell it at the local farmers market, then you need to go jump through all of the hoops. You have to register a business, you have to go and get certification, and someone has to come out and see that what you're doing is meeting up to the standards and requirements necessary for you to be able to sell your beer as a product that's safe for other people's health. That's regulated. Or if you're a farmer and you want to do it on a larger scale, same thing counts. So yes, you can't really regulate a plant, but you can regulate the businesses who would like to sell this plant in society. For instance, if you look at something like tomatoes, even tomatoes are regulated to a degree. Got to make sure that people are doing it safely and not using, wicked poisons or whatever it is that they regulate tomatoes for. And even though each and every one of us could be growing tomatoes in our garden and harvesting our own tomatoes, eating our own tomatoes, most people are too busy or too lazy to grow their own tomatoes. So that's why we go Checkers. That's why something like Checkers is as big as it is because the majority of us would rather go to the shop and just buy some tomatoes and eat them. So the same with cannabis. I'm sure there's a lot of us who's going to be growing our own cannabis and enjoying it thoroughly. Like I quote somebody I met today who said, cannabis is not addictive, but growing cannabis is a hell of an addictive hobby. And I agree with that 100%. I can't wait for it to be legal so I can grow my own again, especially because growing your own cannabis opens up a whole new world of experiences because you can literally take the elements of various strains that you like and combine them into a plant that gives you just that right feeling for your nighttime use or for your relaxed use or for using whilst you're relaxing on the beach. Like, you can cater to all of your own needs. But like I said, the majority of people will prefer to simply go and buy something that's labeled happy weed, yay! And then they buy the happy weed, and they know every time they go and buy the happy weed, they're getting the exact same thing because the company growing it is being controlled and regulated by some other board that will have to be created, which will create a lot of jobs. But yes, this board will make sure that the plant is monitored from seed to sale. Like we see in America, if you buy a seed as a company, that seed gets recorded. When it gets stuck in the ground, the plant comes up and it gets tracked from initial growth all the way through to final growth to harvest, weight harvested, weight after drying and curing, and then when sold off, they keep record of each gram that's been sold and to who it was sold. So you can regulate and control a plant. We can regulate and control anything right now. And even though regulation and control sometimes seems a little bit to the, the wrong side of the spectrum, you've got to accept that we live in a society today where things have to be regulated and controlled. We're way too many people. We need to live together. We need to work together, and regulation and control is simply a means for us to safely interact with each other and to create a safer, better society so we can have a brighter future.